All right, thank you very much. Hello, everybody. It's your good friend Pozzible here, and I'm with Joe.
How's it going?
And he was able to do something I was probably not able to do, nor that I would want to do, I guess
Put
I
my
should
feet
say.
behind my head, right?
No, you can't do that. Well, I can't either, so I guess that's one. I guess you got me there. But I will tell you something. When we go through this next review, there be spoilers ahead, mateys. Because, yes, it's a sea-bearing movie, so I guess or is it in the middle of the city?
It's actually in the middle of the city.
It's in the middle of the middle of the city. But you know why I thought it was a sea-bearing movie? Because it involves sharks. Sharks that get transported by a tornado, which makes it a Sharknado. Oh my god. This title alone should warn you against this movie, or anyone who has ever starred in this movie should never star in another movie again. This is one of those movies that say your career is over, even though they're making a sequel.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, after watching. Because,
I
mean, the very title alone was a misnomer.
Well, yeah, that's one thing you said.
Yeah, it wasn't a tornado. I mean, tornadoes were in it. They were water spouts.
Yeah.
And, which is a tornado over water. However, they were not seen until really the end. I think a little bit in the beginning, a little bit at the end. The main force, the main storm that brought all the sharks inland was a hurricane. So the name of the movie should have been called Sharkicane.
Yeah, well, I mean, already false advertising, people. Let's just throw all morality out the door. So let me get this straight. It's supposed to be about this city, and where is the city? Did they tell you?
It's in California.
It's in California.
I think, where Three's Company was. That's the beach they were at.
Okay.
Like Malibu Beach or I can't remember the name of the beach, but I remember
so
it was mentioned on Three's Company.
Right, so it wasn't that far inland.
No, it was like right on the beach. I mean,
yeah.
the restaurant where the main character worked, the Ian Ziering, he had a bar or a restaurant, and it was like right at the beach.
Okay. Now, I haven't watched the trailers yet because I didn't want my head to explode from the idea that sharks have been picked up by the wind in the water and were traveled around they're swooped around and they're landed where exactly? Where could they land?
In the street,
and they lived?
For long enough to kill people.
Long enough to kill people. Okay, so I mean, basically, here's the funny thing. You didn't have to do anything to stop them except wait. If you saw a shark landing in the middle of the street, all you had to do was...
The problem is the storm came from far away.
Okay.
As it's coming inland, it's picking up more and more sharks.
Okay.
So you're not talking about 5 or 6 sharks getting popped in. You're talking hundreds of sharks that are getting thrust inland.
So do they ever have some sort of scientist guy try to fix this or some sort of...
No, it's the guy that runs the restaurant.
Okay.
It's his friend who they're surfers and the guy and his friend who's a jet ski. The waitress at the bar who's I think got the hots for the main character.
Of course.
And then one of the bar's most prominent patrons, this older gentleman, always flirting with the waitress girl.
And who was Tara Reid in this?
She was Ian Ziering. He was the main guy who owned the bar. Yeah. It was his ex-wife.
Okay. Wow, it's hard to imagine that she's now in that role of being ex-wife and stuff like that.
Coming far from the American Pie
days. So I take it these guys didn't really do much to try to stop the invasion or anything, or try to. Did they have to get some guns and everything, get some bazookas?
No, they didn't use bazookas, but the bartender.
Well, the shotgun.
He had a shotgun, the shotguns and pistols, and he had them all behind the bar in case the end of the world hit.
Well, apparently, you can tell it is the end of the world if sharks are falling down. Was it really that suspenseful, would you say?
You knew stuff was coming. You knew, what it was. It didn't. No, there was no real shock scene like the scene in A Deep Blue Sea. Remember that when Samuel L. Jackson died?
Oh,
from the shark. The shark just popped up and got. That's suspense. I didn't expect that.
We did tell you there'd be spoilers. You know what? To tell you the truth, Joe, this is one of my hugest complaints about film critics, and this is probably one of the reasons why I became one. When I read the review to Deep Blue Sea, the critic at the time, and I don't remember his name, he revealed that was going to happen.
Oh, really?
So when that happened for the first time in the theater, everyone around me jumped, and I'm like, I could kill that critic for revealing that to me. By the way, we're going to be spoiling other movies, okay? In The Empire Strikes Back, Darth Vader is Luke's father. There! Ha-ha!
Titanic, the boat sank.
So there you go. We're going to just ruin every movie here for you, so stick around. But now, okay, here's my biggest problem.
Okay, what's your biggest problem?
do any of the sharks like find salt water or something? Or I mean, because like I said, why all the hoopla? If all these sharks come falling out of the sky, first off, a majority of them are gonna fall and land and die, right? So go in, watch a movie, not Sharknado, but you watch a movie. When you come out, they're all dead. Have a shark feast.
But there's like this one scene where they're at an underpass. And the waves are coming up over the thing, and creating water, and the sharks, the water level's rising, and the sharks are coming out, and people are getting out of their cars and running.
Oh, of course, that's the first thing you do when a wave full of sharks is coming. Get out of your car as fast as possible.
Well, they couldn't move, so they were going to try and run up, to higher ground.
Oh,
There was one scene that particularly disturbed the crap out of me. It's storming, it's coming down. The wind, you see the wind blowing.
It's raining cats and dogs.
Yeah, and sharks.
And sharks.
Maybe they're dog sharks.
Dog shark, yeah.
Or catfish.
Catfish, there you go.
Okay, but it's storming because it's a hurricane.
Yeah.
The main character, he goes to his ex-wife's house or whatever to make sure his wife and his daughter are safe.
Oh, yeah.
And then you also find out he has a son. But here's the thing. They go there. It's the hurricane's coming. They're talking about stuff. They're in the house when this big wave hits. And then all of a sudden there's sharks in the pool. There's like 2 sharks in their swimming pool.
Right.
The one guy goes to the window. And next thing you know, this big flood of sharks. This window just blows in. And all this water comes gushing in. These sharks come into the house.
Right.
And the house is flooded. That kind of bugged the crap out of me. How it was, and it's just the way that scene was done. And then they run back outside. It's like, okay, where did this water come from? All of a sudden, the house is up on a hill. it made it seem like the sharks came out of the pool into the house.
Yeah.
And then after someone dies in there, and then they come out, and the ground is just normal water, like from the storm. They all get back in the car and they take off. And
right.
I was like, so. The sharks got into the house, just that one house, killed a guy, and then, he distracts it in the water. They run out, and there's no water. There's just regular water underground. And then as they're driving away, the house falls down. It's like,
oh, jeez.
So it was only that one house that got attacked.
Yes, the one house that everyone else seems to have trouble with. Now, let's just go through this real quick. How would you rate the writing of the movie? You're trying to convince people that sharks are falling out of the sky. How is the writing of the movie? Or the explanation, did it work for you?
To some extent, I guess I could see it being that it was a coastal town, the hurricane, picking up these big tidal waves. Because they said in the beginning that, like I said, the storm's coming from far away. The sharks are getting more pushed. They're basically getting pushed inward. So that's the explanation why there's so many sharks getting dumped on the town. As far as the editing and the actual directing, not so good. Like at one point, the guy's son.
Yeah.
This is how you want me to spoil the ending here? How they saved the day?
Okay, big spoiler coming up here, guys. So if you're not
these tornadoes are forming water spouts, and they're carrying sharks in them, bringing the sharks inland on these. I guess this is where they got the Sharknado from. It was the end of the movie, though.
Right.
He flies a helicopter, throwing bombs into those tornadoes to stop them. That's good enough. They explain it. Warm air, hot air. You throw a bomb in, they separate.
Yeah. Okay.
The tornado's gone. Okay, cool. Well, the last one, it doesn't work. The girl he's with, the son and daughter.
Yep.
Or no, I'm sorry, the son and the waitress.
Okay.
They now are starting to get a thing going. She falls out of the helicopter and gets eaten by a shark. So she's dead. He lands the helicopter. At the end, the main character and his daughter are kind of having a moment. The shark just comes down. Like it falls out of the hurricane or whatever. Gonna bite her. He pushes her out of the way, ignites a chainsaw that he's holding, and just like jumps into the shark's mouth. The shark lands and everybody's like, oh man, he's dead. Then all of a sudden you see the chainsaw coming out of the shark.
No!
Slicing it open. And here he comes all covered in blood out. He's alive. Not only that, he turns around, he reaches in and pulls out the girl who was his waitress, and she's on the ground dead. But the son able to resuscitate her with artificial insemination, or artificial
CPR.
CPR, artificial respiration.
Oh my
God. Edit.
Oh my! Dun, dun, okay,
Yeah,
dum 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 dum.
Yeah, so it ends with this girl, and she's all, and then so the husband and wife get back together, and the daughter now, or the
Yes.
son now has a new crush
With the waitress.
Yeah.
And of course, what
Just
better
the thing-
romantic
Just
setting?
the thing that the shark that ate the girl ended up, he ended up getting inside the stomach of out of all these sharks that are coming around.
You know what, Joe?
That was the one.
I think you've just made me a food critic now. Okay, let's talk about one last thing. This is the most important thing when it comes to a movie like this. You gotta judge it by the special effects. How would you rate these special effects? I mean, the budget was $1 million. You said it was $2 million.
No, Bucky was saying.
Yeah, it's $2 million. Yeah, it's like
What?
according to IMDb, it's $1 million. But how were the special effects for such a cheap, cheesy, stupid? You got to be kidding me!
They could have done worse. They really could. I mean,
Okay.
I didn't think the special effects were nothing like you're going to see in the Avengers or Star Wars, but for what they were working with, I thought they could have done a lot worse. They could have done a lot better.
Yeah,
but
they could have been worse.
If you let your imagination go, I think.
So if ever one day you are drunk or decided you don't have the will to live or decided, you know what, I'm so smart, let's dumb me down a little bit, try Sharknado. And until then, we'll see you at the theaters.
Take it easy.